we heard just in the newspaper the other day that Timken reported 30% increase in their profits. You know, and it seems as if corporate America, their profits are increasing, but the livelihoods and the wherewithal of the people of America have not kept the pace. And we found that the wealthiest among us, the top 1%, are making the majority of American income, and it's been the largest stretch since 1929, where we've had the wealthiest among us making more and living better than the people who are every day punching that time clock and going to work and trying to give back to their communities and send their kids to college. Well, I want to tell you that we all rise or sink together. As Teddy Roosevelt said, as John Kennedy said, when the water in the harbor rise, we want all boats to rise together. And I think that if we focus on what our strengths are, because President Clinton said this, he said there's nothing wrong with America that can't be fixed by what is right with America. And if we have the will and the courage to stand up to special interest groups in Washington and say enough, we're going to put the people's interest ahead of special interests. We're going to put the work of Americans ahead of the work that we're sending overseas so that other countries can enjoy the fruits of labor of so many things that have been fought for and given in this country. My friends, I'll close with this. My grandparents came here over a century ago. They came here over a century ago with nothing. They had a few clothes in their suitcase and the crumbs of food in their pockets, but they came to America because they knew if you worked hard, you persevered, you gave back to your community, that America was a place where your dreams could be realized. And they worked as carpenters and coal miners and as a steel worker. And my parents were the first in their families to go to college, and my parents became teachers, and then my brothers became a chemist and a pharmacist, and my other brother's a defense contractor with Raytheon and serving in the military. America has been very good and generous to the Boccieri family. Very good, very generous. But this is the first generation of Americans in a recent poll that believes that we will not have it as good or better than our parents and grandparents. Well, I'll tell you here today that this campaign for Congress is about the direction of America. And it's about what drove my grandparents here, the hope and promise that we believed if you worked hard and persevered and gave back to your community, that America, Stark County, Wayne County, Ashland, Medina, Northeast Ohio in general, was a place where dreams could be realized and that we could accomplish anything that we put our hearts and minds to. Well, I can tell you that hope and that promise is still alive. It's still alive. But we have got to fight, and we have got to hold our officials accountable, because we can't shut the door and say after the election's over, after November is come and past, that we send our representatives to Washington and forget the duty that we elected them to do. And that is to put people first ahead of the partisanship, to stand up and fight for what is right in America. I want to be a congressman that you can be proud of. I want to be a congressman that puts special interest behind your interests and make sure that we fight every day, every hour of every week, so that you have a job, you can do the things that my grandparents came here for. I'm John Boccieri, and I would be absolutely honored to represent you in Congress. Thank you very much.